Okay, fans and friends, you asked for more recitation and now you're going to get it. Today we're going to deal with a subset of recitation called comedy. And we're going to look at some of the general principles involved in telling a joke. Telling a joke is both an art and a science. And like everything else, you have to work at it to be good at it. I'm going to make a few suggestions for you to consider. If you think they help, use them. And if you think they do not help, don't use them. The first suggestion is be prepared. That's the Boy Scout motto. You should have a repertoire of maybe 3 short jokes and 3 long ones. The holiday season is coming up and people will be around the dinner table. They've had too much to eat. They've had too much to drink. And that is the perfect situation to tell jokes, according to Sigmund Freud. And he should know he was a psychiatrist who practiced in Vienna for 52 years. So the situation requires, if somebody starts a joke, telling jokes, you should get in there and hold your own. Now I like the short jokes, and the key thing with them is to hit the punchline at the end. The last few words or the last word. 2 cows were on a hill, and one cow says to the other, "Are you afraid of getting mad cow disease?" "Not me. I'm a helicopter." I also like bar jokes. 2 men walked into a bar. The other guy saw it and ducked. A slice of pizza went into the bar and the bartender said, "We don't serve food." A grasshopper went into the bar and the bartender said, "Hey, you know, we have a drink named after you. You have a drink named Steve?" Okay. Now another thing about telling jokes is you have to match your joke to the audience. This is called the map principle. Material must match audience, must match performer. Now there's some situations where it would be entirely inappropriate to tell a joke, a particular joke that might offend your audience. So don't do it. For instance, here's a joke that probably would not go over well in a woman's club. "Honey, I just won $6 million in the lottery, so pack your stuff." "Oh, that's great, dear. Where are we going?" "Oh, I don't know where you're going. I want you out of here in 30 minutes. Now here's the kind of joke that might go over well in a woman's club. A man went to the Social Security office to get Social Security, but he forgot his birth certificate. So the clerk said, "Take off your shirt, and if you have gray hairs, I'll give you Social Security." So he took off his shirt and sure enough showed the gray hairs, and they put him on a dole. So when he got home, he told his wife the story of how he got Social Security. And she said, "Ooh, it's too bad, dear. they didn't ask you to pull down your pants, because they would have also given you disability. Now here's a joke that would not go well in the meeting of the American Bar Association. An old timer at a bar starts screaming, "Lawyers are assholes! Lawyers are assholes! Lawyers are assholes!" And another drunk in the corner waddles up to him, taps him on the shoulder, and says, "I have severe objections to what you just said." "Why, sir? Are you a lawyer?" "No, I'm an asshole." Now, a joke that actually went over very big at the annual meeting of the American Bar Association is a joke that I'm about to tell you. Now, lawyers and judges are in a kind of power relationship where the judges have much more control and power over the lawyers than they would often like. So here's what happened. Sandra Day O'Connor, the Supreme Court Chief Justice, went to lunch with the other justices. And the waiter said, "What will you have to eat?" And Sandra said, "I'll have a steak sandwich and coffee." "And what about the vegetables?" "They'll have the same." Now, when you're trying to tell a joke, you might want to copy the masters. Woody Allen. "Is there sex after death?" "I sure hope so. I don't want to miss out entirely." "I'm not afraid of dying. I just don't want to be there when it happens." Or W.C. Fields. He's on a Mississippi riverboat playing poker with some tyro. And the little kid says, "Is this a game of chance?" "Not the way I play it." W.C. Fields, Tombstone, says, "I'd rather be here than in Philadelphia." One of the famous comedians is Mae West. In the 30s, she was the best paid woman in America. She specialized in double entendres and also innuendo. "Come up and see me sometime. I won't tell. I feel like a million. Boys, but one at a time." The hat check girl admired my diamonds and said, "My goodness, those are beautiful diamonds." Dearie, goodness had nothing to do with them. And then you have politicians telling jokes. Some of you may remember President Reagan on TV said, "I'm not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience." And some of you may not remember the rejoinder to that, which is far less famous and not often quoted. "I'm not afraid that President Reagan is going to push the atomic button. I'm afraid at age 76, he's going to keel over and fall on it." Okay, so now let's talk about the rule of three. The rule of three. You should make your stories short because brevity, said Shakespeare, is the soul of wit. So we concentrate on just 3 reiterations on the long jokes. For instance, here's one. A Catholic priest goes from Dublin to London. And he's walking along the West End of London, and a young woman approaches him and says, "Hey, Governor, how about a quickie? 5 quid." And he says, "No, thank you." He walks further down the lane, and another young woman comes up to him and says, "Want a good time? 5 quid for a quickie." And he says, "No thanks." Still further down the line, remember the rule of 3, another young lady, 5 quid for a quickie? No thanks. So when the priest gets back to Dublin, he realizes he doesn't know what a quickie is. So he calls the convent next door to the parish house, and he talks to the Mother Superior. "Sister, what's a quickie?" 5 quid, same as London. O'Doyle and O'Brien were in the back of a church, and O'Brien went to confession. "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been 3 weeks since my last confession, and this is my sin. I had my way with a woman." Well, some of you who don't know the way the Irish talk can imagine what this "I had my way with a woman" is. And the priest knew exactly what he was talking about. "And who was she?" "I'll not be telling you that, Father." "Was it that notorious Maureen O'Hara again?" "I'll not be telling you, Father." "If you don't tell me, I'll give you no absolution." "Was it the widow Hoyle?" "She's a repeat offender." "I'll not be telling you, Father." "Oh no, I hope it wasn't the shame of the Catholic Church, Sister Mary Margaret McBride." "I'll not be telling you, Father." So in the back of the church, Doyle asks O'Brien, "Did he give you absolution?" "No, he did not. But I got a lot of good leads." Okay, so that's about all I want to tell you about telling a joke. The important thing is practice, practice, practice. Practice in front of the mirror at home. Practice your facial expression, your smile, body language. It's a good idea to perhaps videotape yourself. If you don't know what's wrong or what can be improved, you really can't improve it. So have fun telling your jokes.